Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you for giving up your lunch to join us and learn a little bit about Career Tech High School as well as career and technical education. I'm Mr. Ross. I'm the principal at Career Tech High School. This is Ms. Sugg. She is in charge of career and technical education across the whole district. So we're going to talk about both of those things in the next few minutes. We've got a short presentation for you, a video, and then we'll allow you guys some time to ask questions as well. Okay? So from here on out, when we say career and technical education, we're just going to say CTE though, because that's a mouthful. And the whole presentation is about CTE. So this is a picture of our school. If you've not been over there, and transportation is the reason that you're concerned that maybe it wouldn't work for you, we have a bus every morning that comes from this area. So you could ride your normal bus to here, and then we take a transfer bus from here over to Career Tech High. We start our day a little bit later, and we end our day a little earlier in order to get you guys back here in time for your bus back home. So transportation should not be a reason why you would not apply, okay? We are a magnet school, a choice school. That makes us a little different than the other schools because you have to apply to us. We have some programs that are special to our school. We talk about pathways, but there are pathways at all the schools too. But because we're a magnet school, we really place a lot of emphasis in our mission statement. And some things changed this year, and we're getting back onto mission. And our mission statement is built around three main ideas. The pathway education. In order to come to Career Tech, you have to commit to one of our eight pathways and fulfill that throughout your 4 years there. Inspiring excellence through academic rigor. You guys know what academic rigor is because that's built into all of our schools in the district. We just hold it very important that kids take their studies seriously because we know that will translate into success later on, which brings me to that idea of lifelong learning and teaching leadership. We do those things through what we call work-based learning opportunities. We're going to get you out into the real world in the pathway of your choice and give you opportunities to mix with community and industry and business to get those real world experiences, okay? So if you were to come to Career Tech, these are some of the things that you would experience during your week. We have pathway days, those real world experience days, where if you're in our construction trades pathway, you may be on site at a build site building a home, okay? If you are in veterinary pathway, you may be at a vet clinic working with animals. So we provide you that real world experience through those pathway days. We also have professional dress days. On Wednesdays, students come in what we call interview dress, what they would wear if they were going to an actual job interview and learn how to present themselves and wear those clothes with confidence. The first time I ever put on a tie, I felt super awkward. It just wasn't something that was natural for me. So we want to just develop that confidence in what that's like. If the clothing is a barrier, we have a closet full of professional dress clothing. But then, if you get into your afternoon classes and you're in the construction trades, you change into your Carhartts, your hard hat, your safety glasses, and that is your professional dress during those career pathway class. Okay, so that's what professional dress is all about. You're going to take specific courses your freshman year because we understand you may have an idea as an 8th grader of, I think this is what I want to do, but we're going to give you this Intro to Career Pathways class that'll teach you about all 8 of our different pathways. You might come in thinking, I want to be in aviation, but after you learn about our dental program or our vet program, you may decide, I really want to change and do something else. We know you're young, and we're not going to hold you to a decision you made as an 8th grader that's going to impact your whole life, okay? So you can still change. We're also going to teach you about customer service and technical writing, how to write a resume, to be prepared for getting a job right out of high school, or be prepared for going to post-secondary to train you for that job that comes after college, okay? We talked a little bit about our business and industry Partnerships. I was talking with a civil engineer. We're gonna get to questions in a little bit, okay? I kind of gotta stay on track, otherwise I lose focus, but I promise you'll be the first question. I was talking with a civil engineer the other day and how we can get students in the seats of excavators and bulldozers and all sorts of heavy equipment that we use in civil engineering. Those are the types of real world experiences that we look to give kids opportunities to have, which we're a little different because we don't have sports. So you guys growing up out here might have always dreamt of doing the music program at Houston or playing basketball or being on the Houston Chess Club. You can still do your neighborhood school activities and come to us during the day, but we do offer what are called CTSOs, and those are clubs that happen after school, usually only once a week or every other week, and they're tied to the pathways. An example of one of those clubs would be Skills USA. That's tied to our customer service, tourism, and that would tie into our culinary program. And that club meets, they learn things beyond just the classroom, but the cool thing is they get to go to competitions, whether they're regional or even national once we get out of COVID, and they get to go compete with similar interest kids across the country. We've already talked about academic rigor. We expect a lot, but you guys, our district expects a lot of our kids, so we know that. Some of the cool things that go into these pathways are you get to exit with certifications. Wildland firefighting exit, if you complete that class, you exit with what's called a red card. You've done enough hours and learned enough skills that you can go immediately into the firefighting once you turn 18 and you graduate. You guys have seen all the fires. You guys were impacted out here by the fires. We definitely need firefighters in our state and in our country. So that is an excellent program that we are able to offer you that gives you that certification. Right before Christmas, I was part of the pinning ceremony for our CNA program, Certified Nursing Assistant. Those young ladies and young men that were in that put in all their hours, went to care facility in Anchorage, got that certification, and they, as 18-year-olds exiting high school, qualify for going into those clinics and making $17 to $22 an hour right out of high school. So really cool certifications that we can offer. But it's important to know, if you dreamt of being a Houston High student, you want to do your activities here, you want to do your core classes, your reading, your math, you want to have the spirit assemblies, you want to be that hawk. But unfortunately, you guys don't offer aviation. You can just come over for that aviation block of classes during the day and be a district-wide student. And that's true of all the CTE classes that are out there in pathways. If you, right now, I don't think you have welding out here because of the middle school being gone. So welding, if you were really into welding, right now, you could go to Colony for your welding classes, but be a hawk the rest of your day. There are ways to work out the transportation and the scheduling to do that. That typically happens your junior and senior year, so you'll do some planning freshman and sophomore year around that in order to build your schedule to accommodate that. But just know, if you're into agriculture and you don't have that out here, Palmer has a phenomenal agriculture program there. So you can, it's not a fire drill.
No, it does work for that.
Okay, you can access these classes district-wide. That's what that's all about, okay? And then just talking a little bit more about our culture, similar to here, we want everyone to feel safe in their learning, to be able to take risks, to come and want to work together to solve problems. So we expect you to be there on time, do your best work. We expect you to be prepared, all of these things that you've learned here at Houston Middle as well. So how do I really get to apply? Well, because we're a magnet school, we do have an application. The video is going to say you don't have to do an application. Well, that's because the video was created for all of the different programs across the district. But for our school, there are more kids that want to come there than we have seats for. We only have about 200 seats for incoming 9th graders, okay? So we have to take applications, and then any application that is completed gets entered into a lottery, and kids are chosen there in a fair process. So how do I complete an application? We printed off a stack over here. We can give them to you in a little bit. But basically the front page, and it has a checklist to make it really easy for you to understand. The front page is your normal demographic data, your first and last name, your student ID number, what pathway you're interested in, your address, that type of stuff. The next page is going to be a commitment statement. Because we're a choice school, we need you to understand what we are and make a commitment to fulfilling our mission. So you're going to sign on the dotted line that you're going to work your hardest and you're going to work to complete what we call a program of study. And Ms. Suggs going to get into that in just a little bit. But it basically maps out your 4 years and what that's going to look like, what classes you'll take. Okay? After you have signed that and your parents, you'll get to move on to what we call an essay. It's basically writing a paragraph saying why you want to go to Career Tech High School and which of the pathways interests you. We want to hear it in your own words. What about Career Tech interests you and you're committing to? And then you're going to get 2 references. One needs to be from a current teacher. The other one can be from any non-related person. So if you have a coach, a piano instructor, a dance instructor, you are part of the theater in Wasilla and you have someone there, someone that can speak to your character, we just need 2 of those references, okay? You complete all those things, turn it into, we're gonna collect them from each site, so do you want them to turn them into you?
Sure.
Okay,
Bring it down to
so
my office.
turn them into counseling, we will collect them, we'll make sure that we get it there on time, but it needs to be turned in by the 29th, and you'll see that in red all over the application, 29th of January. And then that, as long as it's complete, we'll enter you into the lottery. Okay? So I'm going to let Ms. Zug talk some more about CTE in general and the offerings across the district, and then we'll show the video, and then you will be first up for questions. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Ross. So thank you for having us out here. I'm super excited. I have to disclaimer that this is my first home in teaching, and it was next door in the building that's no longer there. So super excited to be out here, seeing some of my old friends, Mr. Bouchard. And so anyway, thank you for having us and letting us visit with you a little bit. So in front of you are 8 different categories. We call those pathways, and they really are talked about very highly at Career Tech High School because the mission of the school is wrapped around them pretty intently. But know that we really deliver all of our CT across the district with these in mind. So Mr. Wagner's sitting in here. He teaches in the business and IT pathways. If you have any of his classes, you'll realize that he hits on some of these different programs under that. So for each of these kind of umbrella terms, large categories, we have multiple programs that you might drill down and take a series of courses so that you can maybe get to certification, prepare yourself for college, prepare yourself for a good job, and have a skill set that you can tell an employer, this is what I learned to do, okay? And so with each of those, there is going to be a poster. These are right on the brink of being published, but we have some edits we're doing. They're based on the 7-period day, our programs. We're on a 6-period day now. Are we going back? Are we staying? So until I get some clarification, I don't want to spend a bunch of money on printing, but we're close. But each of those 8 pathways that you saw will have a poster. This is the one that Mr. Wax teaches under Business and Information Technology. This one says building in blue. This one says health. And for each of those, I'm going to use this one since Wags is here. Each of those have programs underneath them. So under business, you might study accounting and finance, business administration, computer science, or digital media. What's super cool about Wags, I'm going to brag on him, is I think he teaches every one of those. That's what you do in small schools. He's super talented, right? But for each one of those, we have these programs of study, CT programs of study. So for each of those, in the business pathway, there's 4 programs of study. This is the one for computer science technology. Okay, it's just a front and back page, and this is a guide for students to use, for teachers to use, for counselors to use, for your parents to use, for you to start thinking about what you're going to do over your high school career. Okay, so We do this in life all the time. I'm already thinking about what I'm doing this weekend. I'm thinking about what I'm doing in February. I'm thinking about what I'm doing next year. Okay, that's just part of planning. And we really want to help you guys do that. Your high school, think about high school shouldn't be a big void. Like what are those 4 years going to look like? So we want to help you kind of draw down on your interests and pick an area of study. So career tech is really intentional on that. Students will identify one of these, okay? But you're going to use them in your normal schools too. These are for all schools to use. But they have some neat stuff on them. Here's the two. There's a dental assistant one. I just put arrows, and pharmacy. Okay, this is a business one. There's about 30 something of these. 8 pathways, 4 or 5 under each. You can do the math. Okay. Notice I put some highlights there. Academic rigor, college credit. Those are embedded in CTE. CTE is not about kids that don't go to college. Current tech ed's about kids getting ready for life. Okay, and that's getting ready for life. Whether you go to college or whether you have that certification that you get $17 or $18 or $19 an hour right out of high school. Okay, so that's what we want you to dream and think about your future, and we're going to help guide you. And so you will have to take some academic rigor. Pre-engineering, this one right here, I can tell you right now, you need to take calculus in high school if you're going to be an engineer. In fact, your first math class that's going to count in college is calculus. So you want to be well ready for it. That's not necessarily true with the health ones. You might be able to be done with algebra 2 and move on. My daughter's an RN. She took calculus in high school. It's the last time she ever used it. Okay, so we're going to guide you. What math? How much math do you need? What are your math electives? College credits. You can get college credits. I don't know. I just spoke to some classes this week. I think some of WAG's classes have college credit involved. Personal finance. So with that, the back is freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year. Courses you might take if you're interested in pre-engineering. Again, these are 7th grade days, so there's some. And then stackable credentials. What can you get in high school? What can you do an apprenticeship? What certifications and what college degrees are out there? Okay, so each pathway has multiple programs of study to help you organize your thinking about what you want out of high school, and really more than that, what you want to do after high school. If I ask you guys what you're doing in 5 years as 8th graders, you would have to tell me freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. You don't tell me what you're doing the year after high school. So do some 5-year planning. We're still doing it as adults. So with that, we're going to finish up here because we're probably getting low on time. We're going to see about a 2-minute video. Again, when it talks about application in here, they're talking about the application for the full-time. Those part-time where you come over for 2 classes for aviation, no application required. Last thing, all of these are filmed in the district, multiple high schools, career tech high schools, all current students or seniors that graduated. So this is all available in our district.
There will come a day when you look back at this moment in time and realize the entire course of your life, your journey to success began right here. No matter your calling, your passion, or your dream, the Matsu Burroughs Career and Technical Education programs will launch you to a lifetime full of success. Here, your passion is transformed into a powerful, highly profitable career, transforming your dream to a highly valued skill set. You'll discover more than you ever imagined, see the world with new eyes, achieve more than you ever thought possible. Here, taking your first step forward along a lifelong journey of your choosing, opening doors, creating opportunities, earning early college credit, paving the way to the career of your choice, even while you're in high school. Preparing you for incredible success in college and high-paying jobs in industries that are in high demand. Through CTE, the classroom comes alive, combining theory and practice with hands-on experiences, using industry-leading technologies in real-world environments. You'll accomplish projects led by experienced industry experts, masters of their craft. Discovering skills beyond the skill, communication, teamwork, gaining knowledge, confidence, and expertise. And all of this is available for every student at every single school, without having to go through a complex application process. High-tech hands-on CTE classes offered at multiple locations for hours a day are easily integrated into traditional school schedules. Until that day, not far off, when you walk across that stage filled with confidence, primed for the next chapter, prepared for a lifetime of success.
kind of cool. I took the opportunity to tell our digital media students back here about the gentleman that filmed this for us. He was super high dollar, but we just used him to get kind of some good coverage. But we really want to use some of our students in the district. Love to do one at the new school next door when we start getting it. But his equipment was about $200,000, and he did some coverage for. He's a Colony High graduate, lives in Denver, but he did some coverage for some the Star Wars movies. The cameras he brought up, they had the cages on them, and he used a drone in the. Don't tell anybody. He used a drone in the lab there. So anyway, I think it's cool when we can use what we do to kind of teach. So when he comes out next time, if you guys are here and you want to shadow him when we do our next filming. It's supposed to be the beginning of February, but I think we'll delay it. I'm gonna get a hold of Wags for you guys.
Okay, you guys have been a great audience. Do you have any questions? I'm sorry. Maybe it'll come up with one of the others.
So if I happen to not be accepted by the lottery, but I wanted to take veterinary pathway, is there a way I could do my core classes here and then go to career tech and take the pathway?
Yep, absolutely. That's our district-wide program.
Okay.
So you would just work with your counselor, and then we have a CT counselor, and they work together to build that schedule.
Okay.
Likely, you wouldn't start those classes till the earliest sophomore, maybe junior year.
Okay.
Great question.
Can the non-family member or non-related person be a friend of?
Yeah, as long as they can speak to your character. Yep. Yes. At the school? Yeah, I mean, they can come the first few days, drop you off and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Other questions? Okay, the big idea is that we want everyone that's interested to apply, because the process has changed a little bit this year. So if you are interested, we have a stack of applications that we can pass out. Yes?
When will the lottery be held?
We don't have the exact date. They're still working out the details of the lottery, but we know we want to do it in early February because all the other schools want to know where their kids are going. So,
Okay.
yeah, early February.
And you said around 200 days?
Yes,
Okay.
approximately 200.
Great questions.
Okay, we will stick around and answer any other questions. Otherwise, I know your lunch is wrapping up here, so we really appreciate you taking the time to come and visit with us about career technical education. Thanks.